make sure you're following the GBFC Telegram, top link in the description, because I'm going to be giving away an exclusive GBFC hoodie that I've been working on for the past few months. I've been giving one of them away before Christmas to you guys in the Telegram group, so get following that down below. Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for 6 things that we learned from Chelsea 3, Brighton and Hove Albion 2. First things first, I am absolutely relieved. That is the overarching emotion that I'm feeling today. Waking up after watching what was once again an enthralling, entertaining game of football. I've lost my voice a fair bit as a result of screaming at the TV last night for this one, because we started well. We started to control the game. I think Brighton played exactly how I expected them to. They had mistakes in them. Chelsea capitalised on that. We created a lot of opportunities. And then when we go 2-0 up, basically by scoring 2 identical goals, Enzo with the first one with his first ever Premier League goal, Levi Colwill with the second with his first ever Chelsea goal. Massive moments for him, for both of those 2 players, and we're going to talk about them both as we progress in this video. I'm struggling with my voice today, as I'm sure you can understand. But if you haven't already, hit the like button on this video and let me know the 6 things that you learned from this game in the comments. But to go 2-0 up, I'm immediately sat there thinking, how nice is it to be watching Chelsea and actually feel like we're comfortable? I didn't feel as though Brighton were threatening us. I thought we looked as though we could have gone and scored maybe 4, 5 goals in that first half alone. It was comfortable. Then Brighton score a goal, which a lot of the goals that Chelsea have conceded recently, particularly last week, to compare it again to the Newcastle game, you can blame Thiago Silva. You can also blame Reece James for getting sent off, and then they basically got the whole free roam of St James's Park for the 4th goal last week. But the Brighton goal, the first one, is a brilliant finish. I don't really think even Colwill or Thiago Silva, who were ahead of the player, who could have maybe closed him down a bit better, I don't really think they can do much more about that. It's 2-1, and then the Conor Gallagher red card. Now this for me, at half time, I was like, I think we're going to lose. I think we're going to have been 2-0 up. We're going to have had a 15-20 minute window of feeling like Chelsea are dominating a game of football, playing well, and looking comfortable. We're going to be fine. Lo and behold, once again, the discipline issue at Chelsea Football Club right now, which is, in my opinion, the new problem. Like, it's been quite quiet recently with, we've got the most yellow cards of any team in the Premier League, but I think the discipline issue is becoming, well, it's okay maybe to get yellow cards. I think there's definitely a balance that needed to be found, that I think Pochettino has done a great job in instilling some kind of aggression to a Chelsea team who last season looked like they couldn't care less, weren't going in for tackles, weren't leaving a bit on players. But now, I kind of feel as though we've pushed it a bit too far. We don't want to be seen as a dirty team or a naughty team, let's say, but I would go as far as to say that yesterday, the refereeing in this Chelsea match can be summarised by 3 moments of pure stupidity, lunacy, and it's just a joke at this point. It's an absolute joke. Conor Gallagher, the first yellow is an absolute yellow card. The second one, I'm sorry, Billy Gilmore, we know how small he is. He used to be our player. It's shoulder to shoulder, and then he goes in and he comes away with the ball. I don't think Conor Gallagher should be sent off. So, as much as a lot of people were saying that it was definitely 2 yellow cards, it's Conor Gallagher's fault. It was stupid, and he's lucky, and Chelsea are lucky that we still managed to score more goals than Brighton do. We win the game, and we're not looking at a red card and discipline issue as being the sticking point for either getting a draw, a win, or, in last week's case, a loss. So, Conor's kind of lucky there. But then you've also got the penalty, Chelsea's penalty, Enzo Fernandez. How on earth has James Milner stayed on the field? The third one is the Levi Colwill handball right at the very end. It's as if, like, the referee wanted, Craig Pawson wanted to give Brighton that penalty, and then he goes over to the screen, and I swear to goodness, when we're looking at that, I'm looking at him pointing, because he did the same hand gesture that he would have done to give a penalty. The Brighton fans think it's a penalty. Turns out he understands that the ball was nowhere near Levi Colwill's hand and it smashes him in the face. So maybe if Colwill would have gone down, we'd have been talking about a head injury. Maybe then he wouldn't have tried to give Brighton a penalty. I just think, despite the excitement and the entertaining nature of what that match was yesterday, for me, it's still overshadowed by just shambolic refereeing. Do you know what I mean? Like, the Gallagher one, I can understand it. A lot of people think it was a foul. I personally don't see it as a foul. That's just my opinion. Let me know yours in the comments. James Milner, if it's a foul and a penalty, he's got to go. He's the last man. Mudryk can take that ball past Steele. If Steele brings down Mudryk, he then gets sent off too. So how they've still managed to end the game with 11 players on the field, Brighton, I will not ever be able to tell you that. But my throat is about to die. So I need to get into the boxes here because I've realised I've been talking for 6 minutes and we still haven't even started. It's a blue. The first blue box of the season for Enzo Fernandez. Finally, Enzo Fernandez has 2 Premier League goals to his name. 31 Premier League appearances before this match in nearly a whole year at Chelsea. No goals. We've said last week, we said it on the 3 More Points podcast here on GBFC. We need more from Enzo. And again, people will look at my comments and be like, look, well, you don't know what you're talking about. No, we asked for more from Enzo because we weren't getting what we got yesterday, before yesterday. And Enzo Fernandez is the match winner for Chelsea today. It's a good penalty as well. And what I like about this new way that we attacked yesterday against Brighton, we were getting the ball in the box very often. The build-up was good. It was intricate. There were patterns starting to develop. But Enzo is arriving in the box now at better times. The goal that he scores, he's one of the shortest players on the field and he manages to score a header against a really big, strong Brighton defence. So brilliant stuff there. And then the penalty, calm and collected. You got Cole Palmer just stood there on the side looking in thinking, am I going to come on and take this penalty? You kind of see like he's got that wry smile. Enzo takes it, and I think what that will do for his confidence will be massive. But this is the thing, when you spend 115 million or 100 million on a player, you've got to deliver those kind of levels game after game after game. We wanted goals and assists. We needed this from Enzo because otherwise, yes, the progressive passes statistics can be great. Yes, the opportunity creation is good, but we needed more. When you have that amount of money spent on you, you've got to deliver more. And Enzo yesterday gets himself a blue box. Moving into box number 2, I've given a green to Axel Disasi, who I sometimes think maybe I don't give as much credit as he deserves. And I kind of feel as though when I'm talking about Disasi, I kind of like passively compliment him as opposed to giving him the credit that he actually really deserves. He was playing yesterday at right back, which when I looked at the lineup and I'm like, 4 centre-backs, that's kind of exactly what I expected. And if you saw the preview, you'll know that. But then Disasi, what we wanted from him before in other games this season when he has played in that position is, yes, you're not going to be as good as Reece going forward, but get into those more advanced positions more. Be bold. Just have that faith in your own ability that you've got speed, you can get yourself back to defend, but also get forward because Chelsea do rely on our fullbacks to create and start attacks. So what I really liked about Disasi was that he was very, very comfortable and competent defensively, but he also was being progressive with the way that he tried to move the ball forward in the more advanced areas. Box number 3 is for Sanchez. I've criticised Robert Sanchez a lot this season. Towards the end of this game, some of the saves that he made were match-defining saves for Chelsea. The Pascal Gross one in particular gets down super low, tips it around the post, and then we're kind of being peppered at this point when Chelsea are down to 10 men and we fought very well. We've been playing really well. We looked as though we could have scored more, even with 10 men, which I'm very happy about. But come the end of the game, João Pedro is kind of getting in the groove a little bit once more for the second Brighton goal. I don't think there's anything Sanchez can do about that. But it's just the fact that he just kept making those saves, kept having the ball stick to his gloves when he could have easily parried it into the danger zone was massive. And you can see that there's been a bit of a rivalry created over the last couple of years between Chelsea and Brighton. And what I do like about this is Sanchez is giving it the big one at the end of the game. He's looking as though he's trying to get involved, bit of the argy-bargy, and I think that's what we want to see. I want to see players who care about playing for Chelsea, who are proud to play for Chelsea. I wouldn't necessarily say that this match against Brighton, where Sanchez does make a lot of good saves, makes me confident that he is a long-term Chelsea number one, because that's not the case. I still think we need a better goalkeeper, but credit where credit is due. Yesterday, Sanchez was doing very well indeed. And another player who deserves a lot of credit for the way that he played yesterday, with an intelligent performance for 80 minutes, Mudryk is also a green. We almost had an Eden Hazard-esque off-the-seat moment from Mudryk where he makes that turn. I think it was Veltman, the Brighton player, couldn't get near him. Mudryk, quick, instinctive turn, then takes it out onto his right foot and he drags it just wide. If that goes in, we could be talking about probably one of the best players on the pitch for Chelsea yesterday, but it didn't go in. But still, what I liked yesterday about Mudryk's game is when we go down to 10 men and Gallagher's sent off, I'm thinking, I don't think we're going to see much of Mudryk at all anymore, because I feel as though he's going to be chasing shadows. But he was excellent. He was getting on the ball, getting into good positions. He's looking confident. And if we can just see more of those little turns. And again, that was the biggest, brightest moment for me. But it was also the running. And what I liked about Nicholas Jackson's performance yesterday, Jackson doesn't actually have a box here, but I could easily give Nicholas Jackson a box too, because it was the movement and the dynamism, that connection that we saw in pre-season between Mudryk and Jackson was there again yesterday, because both were alternating around a lot. If he can keep going in the team and keep getting starts like he did there, I think the goals are going to come. I think the consistency will start to show. And I just hope he starts the next game now. We move into a yellow for Conor Gallagher. The reason I've given him a yellow is because I personally do not think this is a red card, but we have got to talk here about this discipline issue at Chelsea Football Club, because for your captain to be sent off 2 weeks in a row for 2 yellow cards, surely this is either, I don't even think it's about Reece James's immaturity, Conor Gallagher's immaturity. I just think that maybe on the touchline something needs to be done where even Caicedo, we should have ended the game with 9 men. Caicedo should have been sent off too, in my opinion. So I don't think it's a red card, so I think it's unfair for me to criticise based on my opinion of whether or not the decisions were even correct in the first place. But with that being said, you just don't lunge in the first half of a must-win game at home when you're the captain and you've already been booked. It's stupidity, absolute stupidity. And with the standard of the officiating that we have now in the Premier League and that we can expect game by game, what do we expect? You know, Reece last week, 2 silly yellows, petulant, questionable. These 2, exactly the same. But what are we expecting? The quality of the officiating in this league is a shambles. But that being said, the final box in this video is a green for Mauricio Pochettino, because I think he managed this game very well yesterday. I thought the substitutions were smart, and I also think it was bold to leave maybe a Mudryk on for 80 minutes. When you go down to 10 men and you're thinking, well, when we look at that bench yesterday, there wasn't really any other central midfielders that we could have brought on. Ugochukwu wasn't there. Romeo Lavia wasn't there. So for Chelsea, we were kind of a bit stuck. We don't anticipate another sending off for another midfielder. But I think that the substitutions that Poch did make, Ian Maatsen came on. At one point, it kind of looked as though he was man-marking Mitoma, which I thought was relatively smart. But I think this is a big win also for Pochettino. You could see after the match that he's kind of getting a bit frustrated when he's asked questions about the project. He's like, no, we've just won a very exciting, enthralling game of football. Can you talk to me about the football, please? And I like that. And I think this fire that we saw yesterday when we're digging in, you've got Thiago Silva putting in big tackles in the second half too. Everybody's fighting right now. Everybody is fighting. And it wasn't like the Newcastle game where we lost our heads and kind of succumbed to the atmosphere of St James's Park. Stamford Bridge was also rocking yesterday, back in the manager, back in the players. And all we want to see is 100% effort. And that is why I've lost my voice, because I was loving what I was seeing yesterday from those Chelsea players. I will be back tomorrow with a lot more energy than I have today. And hopefully you guys have made it to the end of this video and you did enjoy it. If you did, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to GBFC if you are new around here and haven't already done so, And make sure you're following the GBFC Telegram, top link in the description, because I'm going to be giving away an exclusive GBFC hoodie that I've been working on for the past few months. I'm going to be giving one of them away before Christmas to you guys in the Telegram group. So get following that down below. Come on, you Blues.